need emotional feeding at this point. No, no,
Okay.
no, no. Let's go into, let's go to the bar. Let's go to the club. Look at my eyes, nigga. All right, that's it. Coming for me. Like that.
Look
That's
into
that.
my eyes. I put a spell on you.
Shit, my friends see me do it before. Be like, Rodney, what are you doing? Catching a food. What?
Hey guys, this is Deep Think Discussions. And we're all has me laughing. But this is Alezar.
This is real. I'm sorry,
And we're
man.
already messed up, y'all. But hey, today we figured out we were going to do some of our top suggestions on what our little gaybies out there can do as they're entering that good old adult gay life. So we tried to keep it short for y'all.
We gonna try, and Lord, the GAYBIES, the poor GAYBIES, y'all just out here coming into society, and we trying to keep y'all from being jaded like the rest of us were for years. Because once you get that shit on you, it takes forever to get it off. But
It can mess up some good stuff and ruin some good stuff.
but I'm gonna let Alazar take y'all to the first tip because y'all need to hear this shit when he says it. Take it to heart and make sure that you keep that shit going with you the whole time.
All right, which goes to point number one, which I guess we agreed on, is for me, trust no one. Period. You know those memes where they be saying like no one, not a single soul, not a person in the whole entire universe. Yeah, that's you not trusting people. None of them. As you enter this world, you're going to deal with a lot of people who are old and jaded and crazy and messed up. And you are going to be that brand new thing, that nice new fresh meat that they get to take all their fucked up shit out on, whether it's sexually, emotionally, whatever. You need to do the best to protect you. And I know a lot of stuff is going to be new, a lot of stuff is going to look interesting, but trust not a damn one of them, unless they are going above and beyond a certain level that you need to feel good with.
Yep, I ain't got too much more to say on that, but that's going to take me to our next point with about trusting no one. Babies, you just came into the community. Your next top 10, wear a goddamn condom. Now, look, I know a whole bunch of people out there ain't going to like the fact that I said that shit. We have PrEP now. Because of PrEP, we don't really have to deal with the stigma or the fear behind HIV. If you end up being HIV positive, you can take medications that keep your viral load at zero, which means it's literally impossible for you to spread the virus to someone else. And if you take PrEP, then it's pretty much virtually impossible, provided that you adhere to your regimen, that you can track the disease as well. That's fine. HIV is now not HIV is now, very low on the totem pole as far as, things that we should be really concerned with contracting. HIV is the only thing that PrEP protects you against. You are not protected against herpes, chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, HPV, and all the rest of that shit. Wear a goddamn condom. Y'all out here not fucking around with condoms, especially if you're a new gay coming into the scene. You don't want to start your run getting, herpes and got to deal with having herpes the rest of your life. You don't want to start your run getting the STD because then that's going to give you a complex. And the whole thing is that you shouldn't have trusted the person in the first place. And when they said, "Ooh, can you take the condom off?" or if they hit you with that whole raw is law line, walk the fuck away. Wait till you've been out there and experienced some stuff for a bit before you make the decision to do that. And don't let anybody else talk you into doing that shit too quickly.
And also, just to overview any stigma, if it's coming down to people you like and people you connecting with, and they have HIV, babies, don't worry about it. First off, the fact of the matter is, the fact that they told you is a step in the right direction in the first place. The fact that they're upfront and honest about it at any point is a lot better than these hoes you're going to find out here that you're going to ask about their status. They're going to say, "Oh, I got tested," or "They don't know. I think I'm okay." Those are not valid answers. And you may end up being a girl that might require documentation. You know what? Better on you.
I require documentation. You want this dick? I'm gonna need a document. You can send me a screenshot of the results that you got. You can bring me a paper. I've had people walk up to me with their test results. Hey, I just got my test results back from the doctor today. Okay, cool. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you don't have the right to do that, blah, blah. Fuck you. Yes, the fuck I do. Because I'm having sex with this other person. We have consented to have sex. These are my terms. Because you want to know what? Part of my consent is knowing that you are doing everything to keep up your sexual health. I need to know what your sexual health levels are. You are more than welcome, and I am more than foregoing and giving people my sexual health information. So that is part of the conversation. I have every right to know what your sexual health is because this is not just about you. This is about me too. This is my body, just like it's your body. And if you feel like what's going on in your body as far as your sexual health is your business, find dick elsewhere. That's it.
All right. Like I said, facts. I'm going to go into my next point. The way things are on apps is not the way things are in real life. This is for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, and even sites are primarily dominated by sex. So if you think you are worth more than sex, if you think there's more substance in you than just the way you look or how big your dick is or how fat your ass is, understand that in real life connections, a lot more of you gets to show, including your personality, maybe your mannerisms, the sound of your voice could be attractive. There's just so much more to you. So while apps, especially for you young ones, are probably going to still be the dominant way people may meet up and do stuff, just understand that that's not the way it always is. And that goes for protecting yourself too. A lot of people got old ass pictures out here. A lot of people catfishing got fake ass pictures too. Meeting up in real life fixes a lot of that shit, and it's better to do it early or before than have it be at the time of on the day of, because someone's gonna be mad.
Child. I would go on ahead and give y'all a quick suggestion. Get Snapchat. Get Snapchat and go live on Snapchat. They can't fake that. They can't. Snapchat doesn't give you the parameters for you to fake that shit. Unless that motherfucker is sitting over there with a latex mask on when he's talking to you and has got makeup skills for the gods. Whatever the hell you looking at is whatever the hell you gonna get. And baby, I've been catfished before. Sends me all kinds of dude sent me all kinds of pictures and everything. You know, his face, him out doing all kinds of things. Then I show up and here's this crazy looking old man with dried out fingernails and tapping on his coffee cup because I said we was gonna go to breakfast. And he's just like, well, I don't understand why we didn't have breakfast. Girl, let me explain to you something. You catfish me. Go on ahead and block me on all social media. I knew giving you my phone number was a bad idea. That's why I didn't do it. Never talk to me again. If I catch you out again, I'ma whip your ass. Well, I thought this relationship was based off of more than just my looks. Like Grandpa and Boondock said, this whole relationship is a lie, a ugly lie. You are a liar on the inside. I don't like liars. I got to go.
Agreed. I got nothing much else to say to that at all, which I'm going to move into my next one. And this kind of goes along the lines of helping verify stuff. But y'all, the dating apps, the Plenty of Fish, all of that stuff, that's cool and all, but really shoot for meeting people in real life and as soon as possible, or put yourself in avenues or venues or activities or hobbies that connect you with people face to face. Sometimes when you're a baby gay and you may be free from the house or this is your first time exploring the world, one of the things you want to do is explore sex, understand it, have fun with it, be a little hoe, that's all up to you. Congratulations. However, meeting people in real life is going to give you a greater chance to also make friends. And I'm letting you know now, those friends are probably going to be around potentially a whole lot longer than the guy you slept with that you think you might date, or the hookup that was really hot last night who said he texted you again and ghosted you. is very important when you're that young to start building those long-term connections, and all that stuff is going to start with in real life meetings. So instead of doing the apps, you could try joining nonprofits, get involved with your community. That's going to help with a point later on. Meetups are great. Bar and club culture at certain times is also something to step in, but shoot for really meeting people.
Yeah, and your friends, your gay friends, they usually will stick with you for the rest of your life. Usually. But, that brings us to the next one of the top 10 that we definitely need to address. Y'all need to get rid of dramatic friends in your life and recognize what an abusive relationship is from the jump. If this friend is constantly taken from you, if this friend has always got drama and it's always surrounding them, and you always find yourself going to help this person out with their drama, that person is a black hole. Get rid of them. You will be better for it. You don't have to do anything crazy, like sit over there and just be like, oh my God, you're a horrid friend, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do anything super dramatic. But what you can do is go on ahead and just be like, I do not wish to grow with you. I don't want to find out what the rest of life is about with you in my life. You have far too much going on, far too much negative energy. Cleanse yourself. Put their energy in check. And the same with it comes to abusive ass relationships. Don't waste your time with people who are abusive mentally, physically, or spiritually. Cut them the fuck out, because guess what? There's somebody out here in the world. There are people who want to love you. There are people who want to be your friends and love you in that way, who think that you are the damn bee's knees and the most amazing person that they've ever seen, and they'll do everything that they can to support you. Seems like a lot better deal than dealing with somebody else who's abusive just because you're afraid of being alone or you feel like you don't know any better.
And it's really important that you cleanse yourself of that stuff really quickly too. The way I see it is that if things end and if there was anxiousness or anxiety or concern or something, and all of a sudden you feel that's gone because you left or cut someone out, then be happy for that choice. And honestly, don't regret it because you feel better now. I know when you start off, it's very hard to sometimes let go of dangerous people, toxic people, negative people, because you still build in that circle. You're still building those relationships. You don't have a lot of that. So some of the first people you meet are going to feel like that's all you have for now. You can't let them go. You will be better for it if you do, because the damage that they can do to you this early can really cause a shift in everything else afterwards. And I'm telling you now, you don't want to be one of these 40-year-old, 50-year-olds that still have a child mentality when it comes to everything, that's lied to themselves for the last 20 years and still ain't got nothing. Don't be her.
Mm, mm, mm. That's all I can really say on that. Speaking of which, and speaking of, being damaged and everything, another thing that you need to do and needs to be normalized, and you all really need to be thinking about is get a therapist. Get a therapist. Get somebody to talk to, because growing up gay is traumatic enough. Growing up, having to deal with being on the outside of society, not being able to experience your sexuality, not being able to experience your sexuality in a safe environment, that is traumatizing. People hating you basically because you choose to lay down with somebody that ain't got nothing to do with them. That's traumatizing. So get you a therapist, get a little help. And the whole thing is, you don't have to be mentally ill. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be in a bad place to go see a therapist. It's more than perfectly fine for you to go see a therapist, to just have somebody to talk to deal with your issues, and somebody who has no bias on anything that's going on with anything that's going on with you, and they're trained and they can give you tools to help yourself out. And the quicker you start therapy, the sooner you won't really need it. You'll be given the tools, you'll mature, you'll age properly, and you'll just go through life. And when these big dramatic things come up and everything, you'll have either had the tools to have avoided them in the first place, or you'll definitely have the tools to handle them properly. So it's it's not as detrimental, if it's even detrimental at all to you when it happens.
I completely agree. And it's just also good because a lot of thoughts stay stuck in your head. So just to have someone say all those thoughts to you, that's in reality, and just have those words come out of your mouth gives you a chance to actually think about them. Because when it's churning in your head and you in certain headspaces, you don't really think about some of those thoughts and how they actually sound when you tell them to somebody. Sometimes you feel crazy, you feel stupid for even thinking it. Because as soon as you see that look on that person's face and they like, you're like, oh, maybe that was a mistake. What's going on here? And it gives you that chance to be like, you know what? Maybe this train of thinking does not help me. Maybe it does not serve me in the way I thought it did. And that's kind of what these therapists can do is let you know that your choices or your actions may not be serving you in the best way. How do we protect the trajectory you're going on? How do you protect yourself? How do you grow and learn from those bad experiences when they do happen? So my next point that I think is more than fine, but there's a lot of stigma against bar and club culture that needs to stop. It ain't that bad. It really isn't. It is another space where adults interact like anywhere else. The only difference is there's booze involved sometimes. And the thing is, yeah, there might be a lot of negative experience because booze is involved, but you know what? Those people that can't act like sane adults when they drink shouldn't be there. So that's not the fault of the bar. That's the fault of the people going into the space using and abusing stuff that they shouldn't be doing for whatever damn reason. But the way optics are now I know some of y'all might have seen old shows or old movies where people meeting up in the bars and they're singles. That's changed. That's changed a lot. Bars are usually now places where you go to kiki with your friends on the weekend after work or something like that and have a drink in a queer space. If you got a boyfriend or girlfriend, usually a good safe space to be with them so you can be a little bit more, open with your feelings, a little bit more affectionate and have a drink while you're doing it. But it ain't bad and people need to stop. And in most cases, bars and clubs were the pillars of our communities or neighborhoods for a long time they were. So, and a lot of them still hold that kind of reverence. So there's no need to act like they're horrible or bad. People, if they're messy, just need to go. And if they don't like it, they can stay home.
I agree. Well, I agree. I mean, literally, some of the most fun times that you will have in your little gay life is when you go over to the local bar, or you go and you go get dressed and you go out to one of the clubs. Like, you'll have great times. The whole thing is, it's just how you have been this gay person who's not been allowed to have these experiences, and you come out somewhat okay. Some people don't come out okay, and so they end up in the bars, in the clubs, because it's a safe space for them. And at the same time, even though it's part of their maturation process, they're still over there being toxic as fuck. And unfortunately, it's just something you have to deal with, in a sense, because you really don't have to deal with that person. You can put them on notice. Hey, I don't like you or your energy. Stay the fuck away from me. Hey, you want to know what? You are a bad person. Stay the hell away from me. You don't have to deal with them. And when you come in and you see that person in the bar, you don't have to put any energy or anything towards them whatsoever. I mean, personal experience, you are never more powerful than you are in the moment when you walk past a bitch that you don't like and you didn't even notice her. You treat that bitch like she's just air. You walk up and you start saying hello and talking to her friends because her friends are cool, but you don't give that bitch the time of day. No notification, no mention, don't at her at all. In that moment, you were powerful as fuck. And that bitch is the nothing that you were treated them to be like. They have no takes, ties, or anything on your energy whatsoever. Be like that. It'll definitely help you out in the long run. So, I mean, we have that, but speaking of being in the bars, one thing that I really need y'all to not do is treat drag queens and go-go boys like they are gods. Drag queens, for the most part, are really amazing people, and they can be pillars of our community. A lot of them put in the work, a lot of them put in charity work, a lot of them do a lot more amazing things than just show up to the bar, put on a show, and entertain you. It would behoove you to get to know your drag community and get to know who the pillars in the community are. However, there are a lot of little tired boys running around here in a dress and some poorly applied makeup who want to be a drag queen and just really aren't even a drag princess. Like, you're not even a drag maid at this point. But these people are toxic. They come with all these freaking issues, and they expect that because they have emulated, or not emulated, excuse me, that would actually mean that they were successful at it. They have imitated another drag queen that they have seen. They feel like they have this ascribed, like, godlike social status. And it's like, no, you still a toxic ass bitch. You still a horrible ass person. And nobody wants to deal with you. So just because somebody is sitting in the bar in drag does not actually mean that they are this godlike creature. They are people just like you. And just like they are people just like you, they have a chance of being toxic. And what do we do with toxic people? Cut the bitch out. Same thing with these go-go boys. Yeah, he might look hot. You know, everybody can buy ass and titties these days. Implants are a fucking thing, and they're kind of rampant in the community. Yes, he can go to the gym, he can look good, he can do whatever the hell he wants to make himself more attractive. But you need to realize that just because he's a go-go boy doesn't mean he's a good person. Doesn't mean that he's going to treat you right. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own toxic habits. They're people just like us, because you don't sign, like, the way that a go-go boy gets picked is the way that everybody else gets picked for a job. Do you meet the qualifications? And we all know, especially people who work, that just because somebody meets the qualifications for a job doesn't actually mean that they're a good person, qualified, or anybody wants to be around. Because while I'm talking about that, y'all are thinking about 6 of your coworkers that you hate and would probably set on fire if you could get a chance to get away with it. So just realize that, just realize drag queens and go-go boys are pretty much co-workers in your community. They're just people that are there, they're inhabiting the same space, and they're doing some of the same things that you are. And they're out feeling safe in this space just like you. But realize that some of them can be pretty bad. And do not give them a pass just because you're like, she's amazing. Or you can sit a cup on his booty. Or, I hear he's got 9 inches of dick. Or he's just so pretty. Don't give people passes to be toxic. If they toxic, they toxic.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to add to that one. But I mean, again, and this goes back to previous points, you got to get that stuff out of your life and you got to get out of it quickly. Because the next thing you know, you're going to be having all these crazy codependent relationships on hot garbage, and people are going to be looking at you wondering why you clinging to hot garbage. Don't be her, especially that early. We all get caught up, but that's a different story. All right. So my last point for me, and this is kind of 2 points because they all revolve around the same thing, but it's going to be a mixture of babies experiment. But I'm going to tell you, when you experiment, play in and understand the space that you're in, learn while you're doing it, and expect rejections and expect mistakes. Do not go into any situation you're going into think it's going to come out exactly the way you think it is. There's going to be twists and turns, circumstances, and Mike Shyamalan might be writing this particular act in your story. You don't know. Like the same way we don't know his movies. Sometimes they end up all right, sometimes they look trash, they end up good. I mean, life throws us curveballs. But one thing I'm going to say with all this experimentation is that a lot of your experimenting might be with or dealing with other people. Understand that because you tried something, that thing you tried is what's wrong or what's bad. You may have just been doing it with the wrong person. Whether that's you can't seem to stay or keep good friends, y'all just may have never been compatible. There was better people out there for you. Had a few relationships, a few dates, dating don't work out. Having a boyfriend don't work out. Being single don't work out. It could be the people you're choosing. You could have made mistakes every time you attempted it with the wrong person. Don't let any one experience or even a few experiences taint something for you. Take the joy out of something that could be there. Because a lot of times you're going to realize, and this goes back to point one, you shouldn't have trusted that person from Jump Street, period. If you had listened to point one from the beginning, a lot more of this stuff would be easier. But that's not how we are, not with everyone and not all the time. And people get through our cracks and our defenses. But just realize, no matter what it is, don't let joy be taken out of stuff you know you can get joy from.
Ain't nothing to add to that. Don't let somebody steal your joy. Straight up. One of the, I might give y'all two closing points. I'm still deciding right now, but one point that I definitely want to make sure that I make with you guys is please stay the fuck away from anybody that parties in plays. Now, my dumbass was going on my profiles, putting out, back when everything first started, saying that I like to party. I didn't understand that partying meant meth. Babies, please vehemently stay away from anybody who says party and play. This shit means meth. Or, if they can actually afford it, it might mean heroin. But the whole thing is you need to stay away from drugs like that. Drugs like that are absolutely destroying our community, fucking all kinds of shit up. And for the most part, it's not a good look. Like, literally, like, you will be 25 years old, 4 years on meth, and looking 98. Not to mention have all the problems and will be completely detrimental to yourself and those around you. Please stay the fuck away from it. I know that a lot of people will sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like, they feel like they have, like, this drug is like their last resort. They're lonely, they're depressed, blah, blah, blah. Do not ever feel so bad that you need to do this. Please, 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 please stay the fuck away from it. If you get a friend, if you find out that a friend of yours is using it, do what you can to get them help, but realize that you need to allow them the space to be the ones to change, to be the ones to want to change. By the way, I don't know if y'all can hear that. I don't know what the fuck is going on next door. Somebody is jackhammering something, and I ain't got no notification. But please, please stay the fuck away from meth. If you have, like I said, if you got that friend that you find out that that person does it, be like, let's get you help, but you got to let them help themselves. Set them up, maybe take them to an appointment or two, and make sure that they're the ones who are making the effort, because you cannot make anybody change. They're going to have to want to change. Don't involve yourself in somebody else's process to the point where it's making you sick. It's making you terrible. It's stressing you out. But again, I'm going to say it like a bazillion times. Stay the fuck away from meth. If you got a hookup and that motherfucker comes over and puts a little armband around his arm and starts to inject himself, show him the door. Show him the door. Put him the fuck out. Stay the fuck away from that shit.
I again agree with all that. And it's just, again, trust no one. Trust no one until it's proven to you. A lot of y'all are going to come out here ready to give, 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 give. I'm going to let y'all know right now, as much as we fly pride flags, as much as it seems like we should be welcoming, as much as you would think the bond of being in this community overall makes us all want to be there for each other or support each other or love each other. What I'm going to let you know is that's not going to be the case. It really isn't. And that's one of the expectations that's going to get you caught up as you're hanging out with people. But no, it's just going to be one of those situations where you're going to be expecting a lot from people, and you're going to think this community is going to be great and loving and welcoming, and it's not going to be the case, y'all. You're Again, follow point one, trust no one, and that includes the people you think you share something with. We go through a lot of the same experiences, a lot of the same pain, and a lot of people still out here messing with each other, screwing people over, not being honest. It's a dime a dozen. So focus, protect yourself. That's pretty much what most of these points are about. If you can really tell one of the themes, you need to protect you because this community is filled with far too many dumpster fires. You don't need to be one, and you definitely don't need to date one. But screwing around with them will eventually set your ass on fire. And just don't be her.
Because don't nobody want to be bothered with no dumpster fire or no disaster fucking gay. Nobody wants to be a disaster gay, babies. Just to hear what we said. I know we made the top 10, but literally this is just life lessons. Just y'all, please take this shit to heart, especially the meth one. Stay the fuck away from meth. Oh my god, stay away from it. Next time somebody offers you some meth, go find a random dick to suck, because at least taking a Z-Pack is going to be less harmful than you having to go through 4 or 5 years of therapy and struggling every day to get over an addiction like that. That shit is scary as fuck. It is terrible, and whoever made it, their mom's a hoe. Just straight the fuck up. But just, we don't want you guys to get out here in society and just end up completely fucked up. I know for at least myself personally, I know when I got here, two older gays grabbed me and was like, "You're new, sit down, shut up, and listen." And they're my gay parents, and they have kept my ass out of so much fucking trouble. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like the amount, and it's just through conversation. It's just because somebody gave me some lessons like this. Was like, don't do this, take this shit out your profile, etc., get you therapy, respect yourself, do all of these things, but also at the same time, don't stop yourself from having fun, because our society is not anywhere near as fucked up as straight people society is, whatsoever. But we still got a lot of fucked up side on this side of the fence, fucked up shit on this side of the fence.
Yep. So just remember those points. Keep a lookout. Keep an open heart. Keep wanting to learn, and that's about it. That's all I've got. Did you have anything else?
Oh, honorable mention. Oh, babies, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, babies.
We
I
were so
forgot
close.
something. We really were. This is just real quick, real quick. I'm so sorry. I forgot this. Oh, I feel so bad. I should have started this video out with this shit. Learn proper douching techniques and sexual hygiene. So sorry we didn't start out with this shit. Learn how to wash your puss and learn how to wash your dick, especially you motherfuckers with faux skin. I am a motherfucker with faux skin. Peel it back, wash it. Soap, water, you can even drop a little tea tree oil down there or something, but you need to make sure that your dick does not fucking stink. You need to make sure that when you go to put that puss on somebody, you are not giving him a Pasadena mudslide. Learn how to do it. Get you a bidet. Please get you a bidet, get you in them toilet seat bidets, but do not sit around here and be trying to do anything barbaric. Learn how to wash your puss out, get it clean, make sure the water comes out clean, and go forth and, multiply. Well, you could if not for lack of equipment, but whatever.
Yep, sexual health in general. Understand what the common STIs are like in the area. Understand symptoms. Ask questions when you come across stuff is weird, because it won't be the first or last time a dick gets a visual inspection before anything happens. Just saying, it's better off you ask and ruin a moment than end up with some shit you won't keep forever. Just saying.
I'm trying not to crack the fuck up. I promised that we wasn't gonna make this too long, but I'm about to be arty for a second. Check the dick. Check it. Get you some tongue. Get you some little them wooden tongue depressors. Get you a flashlight. Use the flashlight on your damn cell phone. But you check that fucking dick, bitch. And just like you check the dick, check the fucking hole. You would be surprised the amount of times that you go to actually fuck around with somebody, and you be like, "What is this bump?" And they're like, "Oh, I have herpes." What is this bump? Oh, you want to know what? I'm pretty sure that I have some syphilis that just isn't checked, or I haven't finished my round of antibiotics to get rid of whatever the fuck it is. Check the motherfucking dick and check the puss. The whole thing is that you can spread his cheeks and be like, "What are these bumps?" And he could just, they could be skin tags. And he'll be honest, they're skin tags. Okay, cool. Or, these are untreated hemorrhoids. All right, fine. But if he says that they anything else, you need to be like, "Okay, well, I will see you at a later date." But clearly, I do not want to have to go through the same medical regimen that you have to go through every day. And right now, you're having a flare-up. Please, when your flare-up goes away, go on ahead and let me know. We can discuss this at a later date. But currently, right now, in this period in time, what's going on in here on this motherfucking day is I'm not doing that.
Yep. That's exactly what we were getting at. Uh, Again, point one, trust no one, period. That's literally the point. Because the girl, like I said, knowing your history, knowing what bumps look like when someone says the skin tags, you can clearly tell that's a cluster or something else. Don't believe Andor's lies.
Not a question. Sorry. I mean, there are some people out there who unfortunately have these things. And when they do the whole thing back to, trust no one is you also need to make sure invalid and, verifying whether or not you can trust them a little bit, make sure that they're up on their sexual health. Oh, do you know you have this? Sometimes you'll be like, what is this bump? And they're like, oh, I don't know.
True
Well,
that.
you need to go find out.
Be a good Judy.
Yeah. But some people are, they have these things, and as long as they're having sex and dealing with you responsibly, then that's fine. It's the people who are irresponsible and the people who will lie to you about shit. Those are the people that you want to avoid, which goes back to trust no one, which really should just be the theme of the fucking show.
Really?
That's what we should call today. It's just trust no one. Top 10, but trust no one.
Pretty much. And even in those situations, you see that stuff, they tell you one thing, you expect it to be one thing. There's a certain prudeness around all of it too that people get into, where it's like, they don't want to talk about, tests and STIs or what they have. You need to be open and honest about it because you don't want to be a girl at some point where you finally take your test, you got something, and then you can't remember who it was, what it was, who it was from. You ain't got no distinguishing details from the last 50 people you've been with. Don't be that girl. And then if you do take that plunge and then it show up, you know what? You know exactly what the fuck happened, and you made that damn choice. Girl, it's time for a Z-Pack. But you knew, I hope it was fun, and that's why you're fucking experimenting.
So in conclusion, again, trust no one. Not a single soul. No one in existence. Trust no one. But anyway, you guys, thank y'all for listening. This has been Deep Think Discussions. Again, you guys can find us on YouTube, find us on Podbean. We may be making a move from Podbean in the future, but you guys can still find us there for right now. I feel so bad because my dyslexia kicks in right now. I can never remember the rest of the name on Twitter specifically, but Alezar got you on that one.
That's right. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, do Deep Think Discuss with one S at the end and a one because her name was too long. Deepthinkdiscussions.podbean.com if you want to go directly to our site on there, and Deep Think Discussions on anything else. However, I would say that if you're following us on Facebook or anything else, please come over to YouTube. That's probably going to end up being our central hub for everything anyway. So you want to keep up to date on when this stuff comes out and get notified. Click that subscribe button.
Click it. But yeah, if you guys like this, go ahead, toss us a like. Please comment and subscribe. You guys with the comments, I absolutely love it because you guys are finding us on our own personal social media, and you guys are talking to us through everything. Blah blah blah. The comments, like we're listening to them. We're listening. We'll do episodes and stuff based off of the comments that we get and any ideas that you guys give us and things that you want to hear us talk about. So please comment. It's helping us. Help me help you. Help me help you.
Help us. We need to get the hell out of here. So this is Alezar.
This is RoRo.
Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.